Could Jasmine qualify for VAWA, the Violence Against Women's Act? So VAWA is a form of relief that you can self-petition yourself if you've been a victim of abuse at the hands of your United States citizen spouse, parent, or child. So you need to have a qualifying relationship, which they have. You need to prove a real marriage, which by now we can see that it is real. You need to show that there's 3 years of good moral character on the victim's behalf, which, as far as I know, she hasn't been arrested. And then you need to show that there's been abuse. And that abuse does not need to be physical. It can be extreme cruelty. It can be psychological and emotional abuse as well. So let's take a look if there are any signs that Gino is abusing Jasmine.
You want me to beg, right? To be at your mercy, as usual.
No, that's not true.
If you have told me that day in Miami, like, hey, we cannot afford it, it has been...
No, but you don't understand.
It would be less painful that now that I've been daydreaming about it. And that's my only motive, like my only goal when I wake up. I don't have absolutely anything to do other than cleaning the house and cooking for you.
Look.
And all of a sudden, you just crush everything, as usual.
I mean, I have to look at all our financial resources to try to get the money. But right now, I want to go home.
So we see that in this episode, Jasmine has been so excited for the last episode and this one to participate in a pageant. And it's something that is basically giving her meaning to her life. She has been depressed. She's not able to see her friends and family. And there's question as to when her kids can be brought here and if Gino is going to bring them and what's going to happen. So because of these other factors, she has one kind of light in her life that she right now was giving her a sense of self-esteem. And that was the idea of doing this Miami pageant. And this is kind of typical in any sort of an abusive relationship, that the abuser would like to take away things that are important to or that the victim enjoys. So that can be taking you away from your friends and family. It can be taking you away from things that you're good at, your job. It's taking you away from hobbies that you like. And that is something that he seems to be doing. We're not sure yet if he's going to pay or not for the pageant, but he is leaning towards, he's showing that he's not yet sure if he's going to pay for the pageant that she really wants to participate in.
I still have to do 45 minutes of cardio now that we're done with the...
No, I'm done. I can't do any more working out. I have stuff at home I have to do.
But you told me that you were gonna be okay with my workout.
You did a really good workout today. Let's go home and...
Stop. I'm begging you. 45 minutes.
No, I'll take you later tonight.
You always say that and you fall asleep.
I'll take you later tonight.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It is very frustrating because I completely depend on him for everything. I cannot go anywhere without him because he's the one who drives me. I rely on him financially. He hasn't provided me like any credit card for basic stuff, so I cannot even buy tampons by myself. And he enjoys so much making decisions about every single detail in my life. I believe that he's trying to control me. And that is so scary because I've never been in this vulnerable position and I don't like it.
So in a good faith marriage case, we want to show that the couple is sharing their finances and that they're working as a unit financially. So that's one red flag that I see here, is that Gino is controlling all of their finances. He hasn't given her a credit card. He hasn't given her access to his bank account so that she can make purchases on her own. She says that she can't even go to buy tampons by herself. So that is somewhat problematic if she has no financial independence at all. and they are married. Now, I understand that she's not able to work yet, but when you're married, you would expect that your spouse is going to take care of you and help you to provide the needs that you have while you're waiting for the ability to work, right? So she doesn't have any financial independence, and she's very dependent on him. She says that she feels that she's relying on him for everything, and because she doesn't yet have a way to drive, and she doesn't have a way to pay for anything, so she can't even go and use an Uber or a Lyft to get places on her own. She's very reliant and dependent on Gino for everything. And she's explaining that this makes her feel very scared. She says she's so scared and she feels vulnerable, which she's never felt in her life. So those are, to be honest, sentiments that a lot of VAWA applicants do in fact express. So let's take a look a little bit later in the episode as we see how things unfold later in their conversation.
So you're driving us home, right?
I really want a smoothie right now. I haven't eaten anything this morning.
So we didn't have time to stay at the gym and finish my cardio, knowing how important it is to me, but we do have time for smoothies.
I'm starving.
Yeah, right. You said you did it for the lights inside me.
Gino wants a smoothie, we made time for the smoothie. It's just what you want, when you want it, all the time.
Nah, that's not true.
I'm just describing facts.
Why are you so bitchy today?
You are the bitch.
Is it that time of the month?
You are an idiot for saying that. Your attitude is gross. In Panama, nobody controlled me. I was very independent person, but now Gino controls the money. And I believe that Gino is using the whole "we don't have enough money" argument as a way to have control over me. He decides what we can do, what we cannot do, what I can buy, what I shouldn't, when I can work out at the gym. We have to stop for a smoothie because he said so. Because what I want, it doesn't matter.
So we see here that she's feeling that she doesn't have any autonomy, like we talked about before. But besides that, he's controlling and making choices for her that she should be making on her own. So control, manipulation, financial abuse, those are all factors that could be used in a VAWA case. And we don't need to have police reports to do a VAWA. You don't have to have a restraining order. We can use her own testimony, and they're not going to go and call Gino to ask him, what does he think? And was this really, there's no trial on basically to find out if this happened or not. It's her story. And can she prove it that there was abuse and that she's also has all the rest of the factors for VAWA? So we do see that there are some signs that she may be able to use. And she's going to be able to use a sworn statement, her own explanation, as well as she could get friends, family members that know as well what she's been through to write a statement as well. And she can get a letter, a very important letter from a immigration psychologist who's going to put in detail how they believe that she qualifies for VAWA after they have interviewed her on a few sessions about the abuse. So it does seem that she may have some of the factors.
I am so sick and tired of you believing
You don't
that me
appreciate
coming
anything.
to America was like a prize. I am the one who sacrificed. And in your head, I should be, I don't know why, be on my knees and, oh my gosh, thank you. You brought me to America. Oh my gosh, should I kiss your feet?
You're nuts. That's what you are.
I'm not gonna be here. I really think that Gino wants to sabotage the pageant to show that he can take away what I really want. It is humiliating for me. Gino used to be my safe person, the person that I trusted the most, but ever since we got married, a lot of things have changed. He's very different. I would have never married this kind of Gino, a dictator, and I have to obey the rules.
Don't be so dramatic.
So we see here that she is saying that basically she doesn't trust him anymore. He used to be her safe person, and now she doesn't feel safe. That he's a dictator that she has to obey. And he did something here that it is also a red flag for a VAWA case, is he's used her immigration status against her. He's basically stated that, you know, what, you're not appreciating all the things that I've done for you. I brought you here to this country and I've sacrificed to you. So to his credit, you know, there's always another side to the same story, right? But just keep in mind that when someone files for VAWA, they're not going to hear his side of the story. So they're not going to listen to the clips that we listen to from Gino defending himself. We're only going to hear Jasmine's side of the story, and she can tell the story as she has experienced it. If she feels that he's no longer trustworthy, he's dictating everything that she has to do, and she no longer has power in the relationship, and you know, she would not have chosen this relationship but for the need for the immigration paperwork at this point, and that she feels the immigration case is what is holding her into this relationship, and otherwise she would like to be free, then that is, in fact, you know, indicative of abuse.
I get Jasmine is having a hard time in America, but she has to understand that eventually she'll be able to be more independent, drive, work in a job. But all of that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
I want to go home. Take me home.
Do you want this?
You have changed toward me, and you're enjoying your power over me.
I don't enjoy showing power over you or
Yes,
anything
you do.
like that. No,
And
I
no
don't.
creature on earth, except for my dog, is ever gonna control me.
Wow, if you think that, there's something wrong.
And I'm gonna go home walking and take the shoes that you bought me.
Where are you going?
Home!
So here we see that Jasmine says that no one will control her, right? That he's controlling her and that he is enjoying his power over her, which is a typical sentiment of someone who is experiencing emotional and psychological abuse. It's funny that she says that that no one except for her dog would control her. Apparently her dog does that. But in any event, she stormed away, took off her shoes that he gave her, and walked home. That kind of story is actually powerful when it's expressed from her first person narrative of this moment in time, the time that he sabotaged her ability to participate in this pageant, which was the only thing that was giving her hope right now and pulling her out of a depression and controlling her ability to go places, to use money that should be theirs together, right? Because they're a married couple. So I do think at this point that Jasmine has a possible case for VAWA if things don't improve in their relationship. She stated otherwise in another point in the video that if she had the power to she would choose not to love him. So that's the point of VAWA, that you can choose not to love an abusive person. You don't need this person anymore to get your immigration status. And as long as it was a real relationship and you got married for building a life together, not for immigration papers, it doesn't matter that the relationship didn't work out or that later this person pulled a 180 and became someone different from the person you intended to marry. You can leave that relationship. And at this point, from this episode, I would tell Jasmine to talk to an immigration attorney, and you can reach out to me. I'm attorney Alicia Morgan. Jasmine, if you want help with your VAWA case.